Welcome to episode 6 of podcast To Unreal. This time I'm playing with BROZ, who's one of the OG speedrunners in the game. He has held many world records on various maps and just beat Windy Way and Daydrifting after a break. After our ranked games today, he was kind enough to give me an important lesson in turbo timing. Make sure to stick around for that if you want to give yourself an edge over your competition by getting the most out of your turbos. Last time we ended at champion 58%, let's see how far we can get today. I hope you enjoy. Hey BROZ, what's up?
Hey, how you doing, Luis?
I'm doing very well having you here as a guest, one of the OG speedrunners of the game, that's for sure.
Yeah, I came from the beginning, that's true.
Yeah. So, one of the first questions I've been asking the previous guests was, where does your name come from?
Okay, so, right now my name is just BROZ, but all the way back in 2012 is when I made my YouTube channel. A little before that is when I made my gamer tag, which was BROZRDumb38. I have a brother, and I had just gotten an Xbox, and I needed to make a gamer tag. And I don't remember why exactly, but I remember just being mad at him. So I made my name BROZRDumb.
Okay.
And then I had 38 on there because it was my favorite number. But 12 years later now, it's just BROZ, and I don't have like that animosity toward my brother or anything. It's more like a funny thing now. But yeah, that's where my name came from. And,
so you're not 38 years old?
I'm not 38 years old, no.
Alright, and in your YouTube channel, what did you do? Did you already speedrun back then?
So, the first game that I really seriously uploaded was GTA 5. There used to be quite a scene for endurance racing there. And I took part in quite a bit of that, at least on Xbox One. So that's the first real taste of competitive racing that I enjoyed. And then oh, I just died there.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And then I played that till about 2019 when the Crash Team Racing remake Nitro Fueled came out. And then I played that for about 4 years, and then came to 2023 and Rocket Racing came out, and I'm still going back and forth with both Rocket Racing and CTR, but I still enjoy both of the games for what they are. Oh gosh, I keep killing myself here.
Dude, this was a very, very scuffed run from me as well. This is also a horrible map to...
now. I'm actually so bad at this map.
This is a horrible map to talk while...
yeah, 6th place.
While playing also.
I think I lost the 1% that I had in champ with that.
So since you did the GTA stuff, you've been on racing games all the way?
Yeah, I played quite a few other games as well. I'd say that it was 2017 that I really started getting into it. But before that, I was a big Call of Duty fan. My favorite Call of Duty is Black Ops 1. Loved the game, but just shooter games in general. Even Fortnite BR I played when OG was a thing. But I never got truly competitively good at it. I enjoyed the game for fun, but I never got to the top level, I'd say.
Okay. But you did nothing for YouTube with any shooter games?
No, not really. I was friends with people who did all the way back in the day. Shout out to some of those BO1 homies there. But it really was only when I started doing racing stuff that I realized oh wow, I am pretty good at this and I enjoy doing this.
And you started immediately with speedrunning also for GTA? Oh, God, it's the same map again.
Are you kidding me? I did a little bit of speedrunning, but the main thing that people did there was endurance racing and endurance events. So instead of like going for one fast lap or like 3 fast laps on a track, what people would do is they would actually race for sometimes over like an hour just on one track against like multiple people, and they do it like cleanly as well. Like they wouldn't wreck each other, they wouldn't be like how you'd imagine what GTA racing would be, which is kind of like I always die there. Oh my god. It's not like how you'd imagine like GTA racing to be, where everyone's like kind of dirty and whatnot. This was more of like clean competitive racing. If you know who Bruffy1322 is,
no.
He's a YouTuber that covers some racing that has that kind of style, and he's a really good YouTuber. I'd recommend watching him for like GTA stuff for racing.
So from what I gather, this is kind of like sim racing for people who cannot afford a sim racing kit or something like that.
I don't know if I'd say that. I just would say that I've always gravitated to more like arcadey games.
Right, okay.
I've used to have a wheel set. I didn't really use it that much because I had to move shortly after and had to sell it, unfortunately. But regardless, oh no, I died at the very end. No. Okay, we're good. We got a second. But yeah, I've always loved doing like racing stuff with GTA. But even with GTA, like I was pretty good, but there was like maybe a step or two below everyone that was like at the top level, I'd say. It wasn't until like 2020 with CTR that I really started to get really good at games and started setting world records on a lot of tracks.
So you moved from GTA to CTR, and that's when you became interested in speedrunning.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Okay, and at that time you already played Fortnite Battle Royale?
That was all the way back in 2017.
Ah, okay.
I played like a little bit of Season 1, Chapter 3, and Chapter 4, and then I kind of lost interest with the game. And I didn't come back to Fortnite until the OG season. Well, actually, no. I played some Season 4 as well. Or not Season 4, Chapter 4. And I played a few seasons of that, but I really didn't start like getting back into like playing Fortnite all the time until OG Fortnite came out. And then obviously there was the rocket racing trailers and like, oh my gosh, there's a Fortnite rocket racing thing. I have to like play this and get good at it, and it's kind of what happened from there. It's like there's actually like a racing game at Fortnite.
So that grabbed your attention right away. You were like,
yeah,
I kind of like Fortnite, I love racing games, this is right up your alley.
Yes, precisely. And, you know, I'm still playing now, obviously, so they must have done something right.
Yeah.
Although, I don't know if I'd say it was on this track here, because Pit Stop I always, like, mess up on.
Yeah, this is rough, also because it hasn't been in the rotation for such a long time. Now I've raced it a couple of times, and I just resigned to taking my old route again and not trying Zig's ridiculous world record route, because I just kind of keep dying all the time doing that. I have no idea why, because it doesn't seem that difficult. But yeah, I'm just taking my old route, and that's way more safe.
Yeah.
Also, it helps if you don't have a Mies in here, just like being so far ahead that the catch-up mechanic completely messes you up.
Yeah, that's fair. Mies is pretty cracked at the game.
Oh yeah. I wasn't winning a single game against him this morning.
Yeah, I remember back in May, right when the double flip was found, and it was me. Well, I did get like a record on here, but I kind of stopped after a while once I saw where both Zik and Wars were pushing this map. It's like, I'm gonna just go play some other maps.
Yeah, dude, Zig's record
But
might be the hardest record to beat, like, in general at the moment. It's crazy.
oh my gosh, yeah, it's like a 30.6.
Yeah, and the second place, like Dylan's second place time is over a second behind. I think.
No, that's still like a really good time too.
Yeah, but a second behind is insane for a world record on a map
I
that has
know,
been
on a
played
map
by so
that
many
short.
people. Yeah,
On a map that short as well.
that short, that old, and played by so many people.
Exactly.
So you picked up Rocket Racing right away when it came out?
Yeah. I remember like the first day just playing and not really understanding anything, and then I joined the FNSR Discord. Because I wanted to like see how people were like, the best players, what they were doing. And at the time, it was pretty much only that and like the main Rocket Racing Discord from Psyonix.
Right.
So I went in there and I saw a player named Nathan. And Nathan, he was like the day one GOAT. He had like a lot of like really early times on like most of the maps. Really, he held records on for like the first week. Oh, we have Tilted here. I actually haven't played Tilted in like 3 months, and this is
such
like
a nice map.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, we got it so early too. But yeah, Nathan, this was one of like, this is actually the first map that I did get a world record on, and it was because like I was watching Nathan like his OG runs as to like guidance, and I see like him drifting everywhere, so I was like, oh okay, like I have to like get good at this drifting mechanic. And oh my goodness,
you say that and then that happens.
I just spontaneously combusted into a 360. Well, that's part of why I haven't played for it in a while, is because of stuff like that. It's still in the game. But anyways, this map right here is it's one of my favorite ones. It's the first one I got record on, obviously.
So it holds a special place in your heart because of that.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. It's I just think that it's nice to like have a nod to like OG Fortnite in the maps, both this one and Pleasant, but I feel like this map never really got quite as much love as Pleasant did.
Oh, I think it's quite a bit better than Pleasant. I like it a lot more.
I do too. But I don't really see people playing this map as much as Pleasant. At least maybe recently, that's probably not true anymore, because the Pleasant's kind of dead, both in Speedrun and in 3-lap. I don't think people realize as well, but the 3-lap record by A6 is one of the best records in the game too, and that one's, I think it might be the oldest record in the game now.
Really?
Pleasant 3-lap. Yeah.
What time is it? Do you know?
I believe it is a 133.
Okay. Shout out to A6 for that.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty good run. But I haven't watched it in a while, so I might want to do that pretty soon.
You should get on breaking that.
Oh gosh, that would be a tough one, because that was like shortly after like I think B-Hop was discovered, or well actually no, Pit Stop isn't really like a B-Hop map. It's more of like, because you already get like the one wheel boost from just playing the map normally. I also just forgot to boost there. Oh gosh.
I'm just trying to focus because I'm on a pretty good run here.
Yeah,
my
I
standards.
haven't tried like talking and playing at the same time. It's really difficult.
It is, yeah, and I don't think that the viewers always realize how difficult that is, because sometimes the gameplay looks a bit scuffed. I think especially on the first couple of games, because sometimes it happens.
Got airborne too.
Yeah.
Twice in a row.
But sometimes it also happens that when I record an episode, then it's actually the first games that I play on that day, which is of course also visible for the first couple of games in the previous episode that I've recorded with the Mies. If you watch the first couple of games in that episode, it's going to become very apparent that it's hard to focus, especially in the beginning. Okay. I think I got a pretty
almost
good run
caught you.
here. Oh,
I
really?
almost caught you at the end, yeah. Let's see what times. Oh wow, 321. Okay.
321. That might be my PB actually.
Yeah, I'm a little bit a ways from my PB there. I think I had a 307.
Damn, what?
I think the record now is a 305. But yeah, anyways, I kind of got sidetracked there.
Oh yeah, that
we
happens
were
a
all
lot.
the way back in December, right?
Yeah.
With Nathan, because Nathan, like, he was like the OG guy. He had like all these records and whatnot. And he had Tilted Turnpike as well. And I ended up taking Tilted from him, and that would be my first record on the game. Because I learned like the basics of like drifting and whatnot from it, like his runs.
What was a notable thing that you saw him do that you were like, oh right, this is what I've been doing wrong?
Honestly, it was just the whole drifting thing. Because in like the first week of the game, if you look at most content like on YouTube or just in general any rocket racing streams or whatnot, most people outside of like the very few top players were not drifting at all. And you know, drifting is such an integral mechanic to the game because it gives you speed, it gives you your turbocharge, and like people were like, oh, but if you just drive in a straight line, you'll just get, you know, 1 km a second, right?
Right.
So people are like, oh, well, that's certainly the way to go.
Right.
But seeing Nathan's runs at the beginning definitely changed my view on that, because like, oh no, you have to be drifting like the entire time.
Yeah.
And then it was, I believe it was Yuki, Sahanaro Yuki, who figured out that if you hold the drift button while in the air, you could keep your drift like while airborne, and that was also very game changing.
Right.
Figuring that out, I think that was like maybe a week or two after the game released that people started really doing that in quite a few areas. Now it's just like basic, like common tech knowledge, but this was like still things people were grasping. You know,
back then it was groundbreaking.
Exactly. Look, can I just say here, I always mess this map up. It's one of my worst maps, and I'm not a fan of it.
It's actually one of my favorites, but I had a very unfortunate bug at the start. You're gonna see that if you watch the podcast when it comes out, where it kind of like keeps respawning you. You probably heard that. You probably heard the sound of a car consistently respawning in the start. That was my car, and it basically led to me not getting any turbo, any boost from the starting line, which is a bit unfortunate. But that's the rocket racing we all know and love.
I don't know if I'd say I love it, but it is the one that we do know for sure.
It is the one that we have.
Yes, it is. And I guess we could segue here, because I know you want to know why I stopped playing for a while.
Right, yes.
And there's a few reasons for that. One of them being that for a game like that has the backing of Fortnite, in my opinion, there is way too many bugs in this game, and there still is. There's still like quite a bit of like just like broken what's the word? Just broken things that can happen. Like in Tilted, I just spontaneously just combusted in 360 on absolutely nothing. And it's like, this has been a thing in the game now for... It wasn't a thing on launch as well, I should say. It was a thing that really showed up, I think back in May. The one notable map that comes to my mind about it is Festive Falls. Please pray for Festive, because that first turn with all the boosts is still just awful. You can just be flung at any direction at any time.
Yeah.
Like walking over a landmine.
Like, beside the bumping, which in this section is of course also just horrible. What? Okay. But yeah, the road there is crazy bugged. I think they've smoothed it a little bit. I've not encountered a bug there in a while. But it's still happening for sure. So you were just generally frustrated with the game and that they don't have the time or the team or the manpower, because I've been hearing that quite a bit, that it's like literally 10 people that are overworked, and
that is,
you know, and
I don't know
what
if it's
frustrated
true.
you.
I don't know if it's true, but yeah, it is only 10 people that are working on the game. That's not the only reason though, because from about like December to May, I was just playing the game every day. And you know, I was like getting a bunch of times and whatnot. March came by as well, and there was the slow speed bug, which doesn't even make sense. Like, how does your car randomly get 3% slower? Overall, the game I just felt like was really unstable with its updates.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, okay, you could just be playing and the entire meta of the game changes because of an update, which I've never really liked for racing games. I feel like just having continuity is much more simpler, and keeping like, you know, players familiar, keeping like record history, much more linear, I'd say. And the rocket racing was like, for the amount of updates that it had, it was always like changing like quite a lot, like as to like what is going on with the game and like how to go faster. Oh gosh, I just hopped into a wall there. So it was always like kind of like I never really liked that, so I decided to just take a break for a bit. And I went back to CTR for like what, maybe 2-3 months. I did play Blair's 1v1 tournament, but like other than that, I didn't really like do much at all during like that time. Like, I still was playing Fortnite to like finish out the battle pass, but other than that, I like wasn't playing like any rocket racing.
Just taking a clean break, which sometimes also helps to get your motivation back, or to put like some things into perspective about the game.
Yes, exactly.
Which is totally understandable. And then you came back with the swing today.
Oh, I'll still be helping in front of you. But yeah, I did I did get the Windy Way 3-lap record. It wasn't the first record that I've gotten since I've come back, because I also did day drifting as well. But I'd say that I'm definitely like a lot more proud of this one. Like, day drifting is still like pretty good and all. But the Windy Way 3-lap, I felt like was also like, Windy is like one of my favorite tracks in the game. And getting the record there was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But that's another thing too, with specifically like 3-lap records, and even to an extent the speedrun records too, is that a lot of people will get a run and then they just won't upload the time at all.
The gate-kept runs.
Yeah. You can call it gatekeeping, hoarding, whatever it is. This game's got a real problem with that, where people will just get a really good time and then they won't upload it. And that was a frustrating thing, to like try to like compete against that in like speedrunning, because someone wants to hide their rank through. I'm not gonna say names. If you know, you know.
I mean, everybody knows. I think I don't remember who I talked about this with, but I've talked about this exact topic on a previous episode with other, maybe even like with more than one person, and the conversation was essentially leading in a way that Like it's bad for the progress of the game
Right.
and of the community, because usually it works in a way that someone finds something, they publish it, people use that, some other person maybe has another idea that adds on that, and then this is how the game kind of maxes out at some point, which I think is super nice. But some people gatekeep the strats and kind of like prevent this from happening, which in this game is very frustrating, because there is no big competitive scene where there's a lot of cash prizes, except for Rocket Racing Sundays this season. Remember to play that. And
I haven't played any. Well, actually, no, I did play like one session with Spuns this weekend, but like other than that, I haven't really been playing much.
Okay.
But yeah, I was gonna say, that's like, it's one thing if there's like, you know, big tournaments going on, where like big cash prizes. I know that was quite a thing in season 0. So for a while, some guys were just not posting times because it's like, well, you know, I have a really good route. Why would I post it when there's thousands of dollars on the line? But
Right.
It's not like we have any of that right now, you know. We're just hiding routes for ranked and maybe like a few $100s here and there. But at the same time, like you said, it's definitely stunting. It's like one thing that's stunting the growth of this game. There's quite a few things that I think are stunting it. But that's like one of them is the hoarding. It's pretty bad, and I don't really see it changing anytime soon.
Yeah.
Especially for 3-lap, because there's no like leaderboard for it. So it's like, you know, how would anyone know really? Unless you like get the record like in a ranked race or something like that. But aside from that, and it's I'm saying this like there's a lot of people who do it too. It's not like just one guy. This is like a thing that most of like the top players have like at least one time that they haven't uploaded.
Yeah.
And for a lot of guys, it's more than just one.
It's a little bit annoying. There's just no point to it, which is what makes it bad. Because that's what I said the last time that I talked about this with someone. I think it would be totally fine to do that if there was this competitive scene, but there isn't, so.
Like, even if there was a competitive scene, I still think it's not great, but I'd at least, like, be like, it's understandable. But, it's just always going to be an issue with this game, I think. That also comes to another reason why I stopped playing, was that I don't think that this game should be in Fortnite.
Oh no, it should have been in Rocket League.
It should have been in Rocket League, or it should have been like its own application. But, you know, I look at Fortnite on my Xbox now, and I see it's like something ridiculous, like I think it's like 75 gigabytes or something.
Mm-hmm,
it's like, you know, one of the things that at least Fortnite of old used to like take pride itself in was that it was like a smaller game that could be played on any PC. And it's just like not like that anymore. It's becoming, I wouldn't say it's like as bad as Call of Duty, because like Call of Duty I think it's something ridiculous like 200 gigabytes, but it's definitely on that path where the game just seems to be getting bigger and bigger.
When's the limit, you know?
Right, like if I wanted to play this game on my Xbox One, it would be like my Xbox One would just be screaming at me. Or same with my PS4, it would just be like, what are you doing to me? Like, please stop. But yeah, and I don't really see that changing either, because I feel like Fortnite gains more by saying like, oh, we are BR, we are a music game, we are Lego Fortnite, we are Rocket Racing. Like, we have all these game modes in our game that makes us like the ultimate game. And from a marketing perspective, it sounds really good. Like, oh wow, you can just play all these games on one application. Like, oh my, like this game must be like one of the best games ever. But because of like how things are set up, rocket racing, and by extension as well, all the other game modes, they have to be like on Fortnite's clock for like updates to like be pushed out. Like if there's like a bug in the game, like they're gonna have to wait until like the BR update comes out to like, you know, patch it, even if it's like really urgent. Which the speedrun stuff is still broken. Quite a bit.
What's broken there?
Where the hover bug, where kill yourself at the start and then you'd hover on respawn and it would unload all the barriers. And that bug has been in the game now for I think 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I think that's also partly why they said that they were gonna like reset the ranks at the end of the season, and then they just didn't. I think it has to do with that, because it's like, well, you know, what's the point of resetting all the ranks if all the glitch times are just gonna come right back again?
Right.
So they didn't reset the leaderboards like they said they would. They said they're gonna reset them now at the end of this season. Who knows if they actually will with that?
Oh, hi, Chris.
Oh man, this track I've always had trouble with too.
Yeah.
I wish we had more novice tracks and ranked. Those are the ones I'm good at.
No day drifting, unfortunately for you.
No day drifting, right? Man, give me K2 any day of the week. I love some K2.
K2 is in the rotation.
K2 is in the rotation. You're right. I did notice that it was there.
Right.
So I was just like generally frustrated with the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to quit. Mm-hmm. And I also learned quite a bit like about myself, like in those 6 months of playing.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to go back to CTR to like improve some of my times there.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent most of the summer when I was like speedrunning or whatever, I was doing that on CTR. Mm-hmm. And I improved a lot of like really old PBs that I hadn't improved in years, and I got a handful of world records there as well.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
So
what, like, why speedrunning? What does speedrunning do for you? Why do you think it's so enticing?
I think it's just fun to push the game.
Mm-hmm. Is there like a special thing that you get out of knowing that you are the quickest person who has ever played this one map?
I think it's more about like doing things that like people wouldn't think are possible, mm-hmm. and just like trying to like put them like in a run. I get like, I really enjoy like doing like new strats for records, mm-hmm. and I don't really enjoy like grinding like times down to like frame by frame. Mm-hmm. I know some people do enjoy that, but that's not really me. I usually enjoy more looking for new strategies, looking for new techs, right, that push the game overall. Mm-hmm. And I'd say like that's the main thing that I enjoy from it.
Yeah. I mean, that's what also pushes the game forward, because we need both of those kinds of people. We need the people who find the new strats like yourself, and then we need the people who go in and take those strats and max them out. Right.
So that's also partly why I came back, because I've seen b-hopping.
And that made you want to try it out.
I know that there's a lot of potential with it.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm scared they might just be like, oh no, this isn't intended, we're just gonna patch this out. And
so
then,
I've actually
really
been someone who I was in a call with on Discord yesterday, mm-hmm. said that he heard from the developers that apparently they like b-hopping as a concept. They like to have it in the game,
good.
so it's not
Good.
leaving. I think it's kind of a situation like with flip resetting in Rocket League. I think it's probably the exact same thing. Do you know what flip resetting in Rocket League is?
I believe it's when you land all 4 tires on the ball.
Yes, exactly.
And you get an extra like reset while in the
air,
and it allows for like more control.
And that also was not a intended mechanic in the game, but some people found this, leading to so much potential for plays. And in the beginning, they were also like, this is like a nice thing, like to play around or for freestylers or whatever. And that was years ago. And now today, their flip reset is a tool that is, you cannot imagine professional Rocket League play without this mechanic, which was completely unintended. But the developers, which are the same developers probably for like in majority, said they like it. So, I mean, this was basically a happy little accident, you know? What's going on with the load-in time, by the way?
I was gonna say, speaking of things I don't miss here.
Dude. I mean, at least like that, we can focus more on the conversation, and
it is a little nicer to just be able to talk. Now.
Yeah, I was debating before if I should actually just sit down with people and have a chat, and either just like record my own gameplay and put that in, or like first record the podcast part and then record the gameplay. But I feel like, or I've received the feedback that it would kind of defeat the purpose. So I'm gonna keep it like it is right now. I think it's fine. I think even if you sometimes forget what you were talking about before, or sometimes you play worse. It's fine.
I enjoy talking and playing at the same time, even if it might be a little difficult.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun it's like a new experience, I guess.
I mean, this was already half an hour, so also the time kind of flies when you do this, which is kind of cool.
Wow, okay, yeah, time definitely did fly by.
Yeah. By the way, are we quitting, or?
I'm committed to this.
Okay, we are committed. Probably someone from Oceania or somewhere is loading in and takes a long time.
Yeah.
So, speedrunning is basically, and I'm assuming this is also what it looks like for you. Like, you load into one map over and over again until you get the record. Does that sound right for you? Or do you do it in a different way?
I'd say it would depend on what your goal is.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the goal is getting a world record, and just getting a world record is enough for some people, and it's definitely understandable why. Sometimes it's just getting a PB. And just improving on a track. Sometimes it's more than just record. It's like you want the world record, but you want to like achieve like a godly run. So I'd say it really depends what you put your goal to.
Right.
As to like what you want to achieve.
And do you usually put your goal to getting a world record, or do you also find yourself sometimes just being like, okay, I just want to get better at this map? I mean, I know that you're not a very big ranked player, so I would assume probably you are more like world record grinding.
I'd say that most of the time it's for world records. If I really wanted to start playing like ranked and like Unreal quite a bit, I'd probably go for more PBs. But I haven't really been doing that.
How long do you usually sit down for a world record on one map?
It varies, but sometimes it usually takes multiple hours to get like a run that I'm pretty happy with. Like Windy Way last night, I got that one relatively quickly. I'd say it was maybe, I want to say like 4 or 5 hours to really get that one. The day drifting record that I got took me 2 sessions in 2 days. The first day was like, I don't know, maybe like an 8-hour, and then the second one was a 4-hour session.
All right.
So it varies. Usually, well, let's see. The most recent record I got on CTR, that one took me like a week to get. So I'd say there's no like definitive answer, but it's not uncommon for me to spend like multiple hours at a time on a track.
Has it?
Usually the longest will go in a single session. It's like 8 hours, I'd say.
Okay. Has it ever taken you multiple days to get one?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. That's a little bit reassuring for myself because I'm right now trying to get a PB on a certain map, and I've been on that map for 5 days. You also give in?
I also give in to this loading screen here. We're not getting anywhere.
Okay. Then
well, I've held out long enough.
All right. Let's quit out. Okay, and we are back.
All right, we're back.
Okay, what were we talking about again? Speedrunning and frustration or what? No. Wait, should I go back into the recording and check?
No. It's right on the top of my mind. What is it? Oh yeah, why I enjoy speedrunning like over like other things. The reason that I kind of enjoy speedrunning as well is like it's not something that like I have to be like super consistent in all the time.
Right.
That goes back to like GTA endurance racing, when you're like having to like race for like an hour on end. You have to be like not making any mistakes at all. You have to be like the consistent lap after lap after lap. And while that's like something like that can be enjoyable, it definitely like takes a toll on you. So that's why I find it like a lot more relaxing to just, you know, have a reset button.
Yeah, I think the speedrun mode was a very, very nice addition to the game because now we do have a mode with a reset button. Oh, Mr. World Record!
Oh, gosh.
It's time.
Oh no, all the pressure.
Now you have to perform. And we have Yarn in here, so you have some competition.
I haven't won a single race yet, so hopefully I can at least get this one.
You kind of you have to.
Start boost is gonna cut it.
Now the funny thing is though, and I talked about that with someone else also, that speedrunning does not always translate to ranked. It just
it really does not.
It just shows that you have the potential to do something.
Yes.
But once you're in ranked and there's other people bumping you and there's like all these factors and it's this one chance kind of thing. Like you only have one shot to do it. There's no reset button.
Right.
It's very different.
Although we are in first here, we got the 1B hop. We got the second one too. Woo.
Nice. I have my own little route on this. So I take the old route, and I'm talking like very old route, even going through the tunnel on the first 2 laps. And
that gives you an extra boost at the end, huh?
I do get an extra boost also the other way, but this is just a lot safer than also doing all the dirt stuff, like in case you get bumped or whatever. And then on the last lap, I go up top and double boost on the long jump basically, which I got a 204 in a private with this strat, like without catch up and anything. So I think it's gonna work pretty well.
That's what I used to do back in Season 0, was go through the tunnel.
Yeah.
Because I used to like doing like an easy flip outside of like the turbos at the end, and I'd always just like fly past everyone. It was one of my favorite strategies to do back in the day, but I haven't been in the tunnel in a while. It's been quite some time.
Oh, I forgot to go up top. I messed this up. Shit. Well, I messed up my super cool, super secret strategy.
We finally got a first place. Makes me feel a little better than myself. There's definitely quite a lot of tracks that I haven't practiced. And that's another thing too with this game, is that track knowledge matters so much.
Oh yeah.
Like I feel like it takes a while to learn every track and like every like new strat that may come to a track, and it's just very easy to fall behind. And it doesn't help as well that they're always releasing new maps too, so if you're not playing, you'll fall behind quickly.
Yeah.
And I also think that's partly why we saw so many players like in the OG seasons just not play anymore, because it's so hard to like get back into the game after you've taken a break.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then once you are up top, then like there's a lot of people who take themselves very seriously in games like this. Like they feel like they have to uphold some sort of reputation, and if they come back in and they like suck all out of a sudden, then like people are gonna be like, oh look, I beat this guy, he used to be so good, he's so bad now. And like I get that, I get that people take themselves seriously and they would get annoyed with something like this, but after all, this is a Fortnite car racing game mode, so
part of why I haven't really been taking ranked too seriously this season.
Yeah.
Like I haven't been playing. It's like for season 0, I was like one of the, I think I was like the 19th player to get Unreal.
Right.
And then season 1, I was the 3rd player to get it. So because I wasn't really playing much of this season, I was like, I'm not gonna be in much of a hurry to get to Unreal. It's not like my main priority or anything.
Yeah.
I'll get there when I get there.
I mean, me neither, obviously, from what you can see with the podcast. I've only been playing ranked on my main account when I'm recording the podcast, so I've done more like speedrunning and stuff because I also just found it more fun recently to do that.
It's a lot more relaxing.
Oh yeah.
That's another thing too, is that ranked can be what's the word? Stressful, I guess. Where if you're not like on par, it can be quite like a lot to just always be, you know, like competing and being at the top. It takes like a lot of like mental to like be on that.
And when you do speedrun, you can just like kick back, like listen to an audiobook or watch a YouTube video while you just try the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, I just had a mad freeze frame while getting bodied by Yarna and Trimix.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that's another thing that I'll say that I don't like about this game. Is that it's always online too. There's no like offline mode, which I feel like that definitely suffers for like speedrunning, because I feel like there's times where connection can determine what your time is. And I don't like that at all for any sort of like speedrun game where you have to be online.
Yeah. I think what's even worse than that is the fact that having a bad computer like I do is gonna seriously impact your times. Because the freeze frames cause your car to stop for everybody else.
See, even me, like on a new gen console, I still feel like sometimes I'm at a disadvantage to like some of the guys that are just on PC.
Yeah, might very well be.
Like, you know, console. Like, don't get me wrong, I love my Series X, but there's definitely some computers that can perform better than it. And the fact that, like, you know, 120 FPS is definitely, like, good and all, but there's people who can get more. I died at the very end.
Oh! Yay!
Oh my gosh, I died again!
No!
I actually just threw that race.
What percent are you at?
Well, I would have been at 14.
Unfortunate.
I was at 11 before that, so
what do you?
It's probably like 12.
What do you do when you do speedrun? Do you also listen to stuff? Do you watch stuff? Or do you just chill?
There's not like one thing I do. Like sometimes it's like listening to music, sometimes it's watching YouTube or like Twitch streams.
Right.
It's never like I'm going to be 100% focused. No
Yeah.
one can do anything. I'm completely locked in.
You're gonna like
Sometimes it's
sit
like
up
that.
straight in front of your computer and like, okay, it's game time.
Sometimes it's like that, but not every time.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's more of like relaxing. But as to like what I'm doing, sometimes it's like there's like new YouTube videos of I don't know, like some random YouTube drama or something like that. I'll just have that on in the background while I'm playing.
Okay. Gotcha. You're gonna listen to the newest Mr. Beast YouTube drama.
Oh gosh, not Mr. Beast. I did see the new video though from Dogpack. It's not good.
I've stopped following the whole situation. For me, Mr. Beast has been dead since he's done something with Logan Paul. For me, every YouTuber that is doing anything with any of the Pauls is like dead. Not that they would care, but just like I think there's a limit to what kind of scum you can associate yourself with, I feel like.
And Logan, he's had his own share of lawsuits and controversy and whatnot.
Yeah. Oh, here's another win for you, by the way.
I really could use some windy way right now. Yes. Let's just get this track like 30 times in a row. I would be more than okay with that.
I would be down. I also really like this track.
I'm pretty sure this was the track that I played to get Unreal all the way back in Season 0.
I have to confess something about getting Unreal in Season 0. I actually started skipping tracks to get Unreal.
Oh, everyone did that.
Because I was, for the longest time, I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna be one of those cheap people. But then I gave in.
I mean, it was so easy to, like, right at the very end, it's like, oh, you only really need to know, like, a few tracks, and then, like, you're good, because, like, all the ones you don't know, you can just leave.
Yeah. Basically.
I think it's a good thing that they changed it, but it definitely, like, made Season 0, like, Season 0 in that regard.
Yeah. I do think though in Season 0 the rank that you had in the end is a lot more telling of your actual skill, or at least was at that point, than the previous seasons, because of this matchmaking where basically you're just stomping champion players for like 50 minutes.
Yeah, it really has become just like who plays the game the most.
Yeah.
And to an extent, it was also kind of true in Season 0, where the guys that played the most did have the best rank. But there was also like the matchmaking was a lot more what's the word I'm trying to think of?
Fair?
I'd say like accurate.
Yeah.
Where like you'd be placed with people that were in a similar skill range as you. It's not quite as like that anymore. Like as you said, we're probably playing with people that are not in champion.
Yeah, I mean, look at
like
half this lobby.
Unreal
Like the people that we know are Iggy and Trimix, and then
and
like we're beating
Belfast,
everybody else is 10 seconds behind us for. It's just and it's always like that. But I've ranted like too much about the matchmaking in this season, and I feel like most people are happy that they are getting games, and it's fine.
I do like that you can get games better.
Yeah.
I think that if they're for like more like competitive stuff, I think we should look at things like RR Sundays or like private tournaments. But
yeah,
I mean, outside of Sundays, there really isn't like any tournaments going on or any like custom like community made events going on. I feel like it's lacking a little bit in that department outside of Sundays.
I mean, there is Track of the Day inside Rocket Racing Dynasty. Have you heard of Track of the Day?
Yeah, I know Track of the Day, but that's more of like a speedrunning thing.
Yeah, but it's also you can also like turn it into like a bit of a community thing. If you ask some people who are always participating, like Darth, for example, like, hey, do you want to run this track together and just like chill? And then it's like it's kind of like a competition, but it's like purely fun also, and it's also interesting for the people who like to play custom maps. And then there's also a plan to also by Rocket Racing Dynasty to have a big end of season tournament.
That'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, and they are trying to get donations for the prize pool right now, because obviously the prize pool is also going to determine the quality of talent that is going to show up at the event.
That's also very fair. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we are going to have with Rocket Racing Sundays. First of all, the top 16 players from the Rocket Racing Sundays leaderboard are going to qualify automatically for this tournament, and then the other 16, the other guys are gonna think of something to qualify. I don't know if it's gonna be like an invitational or whatever the case will be. And we are also, in addition to that tournament, going to host, like with the top 16 players, a cash prize tournament, just like Rocket Racing Sundays tournament at the end of the season, which we have a prize pool of 150 euros for at the moment. So everybody in the top 8 is going to probably walk away with some money. We have not quite figured out the distribution of the prize money. But it's like, if you're a good player and you're confident that you can...
I like top 8 getting all prize money.
Yeah.
I feel like there's not a lot of tournaments that do that.
Yeah, for me, I think that's very important. I think if we had even more, then I would really like to give everybody who qualifies for the tournament, like the whole top 16, I would like to give money. But I mean, we have limited funds. Obviously, I'm a student, and Aaron and Svans are giving some money also for that. Like, we're all like giving an equal part into the prize pool. So
yeah,
it's like
really,
a little bit limited.
Like a crowdfunding
effort
to do something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. But sadly for like big crowdfunding, there's just not the backing. There's not like big enough of a community there. But I mean, we're trying to do something here. And for me, it's important that as many people walk away with something to motivate them to play as possible. Because, like, I mean, there's a lot of great players. Like, I would say, who are like in between like my skill level and the skill level of somebody like Dylanus, who would be like, okay, if the top 3 in the tournament get something, okay, and then they see like, okay, who's participating? Okay, maybe Ski's participating, maybe Dylanus is participating, maybe Burrow is participating, and then they would be like, okay, like, what's the point in me even playing, you know? So I feel like even battling for like a top 8 spot should mean something, because it does, because like you're still definitely one of the best players in the game at that point.
Yeah, I like that. I really like that a lot. Having prize pools go down to a lot of, like, you know, maybe not like first place, but like for a lot of the players, that's really helpful, I'd say. It definitely entices more people to join instead of being like, oh well, I can't win, so there's no point in me competing.
Oh yeah, definitely. But yeah, if we had like a little bit more, then I would really like to give the top 50 something. But I feel like it would be a little bit more important to get some more money also towards the big Rocket Racing Dynasty tournament, because because I'm not that involved in that planning aspect of it. But the idea is to have like a 32 player tournament. The format exactly, I don't know, but it would be cool to have like this big tournament where like really the best of the best come in and are motivated to battle it out for like a nice chunk of cash.
Yeah.
But I feel like the cash should not matter that much, and sadly there's maybe too many people who would only play if there was cash involved. I can understand that if you put in so much time, then you kind of also want to have like a financial reward for doing it, and you are creating entertainment for it, even though small, but like still for this community, you know?
It's money. It's a complicated thing.
It is a complicated thing. But the good thing about the whole money thing is that Aaron has his Rocket Racing Sundays his Sundays esports organization, which is actually a registered company in the UK. So that, we do have a business PayPal address available.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's really
good. So there shouldn't be any worries of people like, just in case, for example, the tournament doesn't happen because we don't get enough money for it or whatever, the money will definitely be refunded, and we do have a safe way via PayPal to transfer that. And I feel like even if the person doesn't have PayPal or whatever, then we can also do it via like V-Bucks or whatever. I think we're gonna like find a way to do that. But yeah, I hope that more people are going to participate. Once we have all of that stuff figured out. Wait, who sent me a friend request on Discord?
I've had a few people send me friend requests in our game, like while we've been playing. Oh, we have Dylanos.
Oh, we do. Oh no.
I have no idea who has world record on 3-lap here, but I'm pretty sure he's got the speedrun record on this track. So
yeah. He has speedrun. I'm not sure. Oh, okay. I already messed this up. Okay.
I had the worst start ever in the history of this track. I was on the right side grinding the rail that I didn't even know existed.
Almost as bad as mine then. Oh, and I crashed. Okay. It may or may not be over for me, but that's fine. You've been warming up a little bit now, huh?
I mean, yeah, you know, it takes a while to get into a rhythm on this game, but once you play for a little bit, it comes back to you.
Oh yeah. Once you found your mojo. Are you getting the B-hop or are you going for double flip off the railing?
I'm going for the B-hop, but I'm not getting it.
I've tried to hit the railing there, but I died one time and flew over it the other time. Let's see if I can make up some spots here on the last lap.
I don't really know like what to do on this track. Like I have no idea what to do for 3-lap here.
Save a lot of turbos would be my recommendation, but maybe it's a little bit late for that.
Oh, it's a really close race for second right now. Oh wait, I got it. Let's go. All right, we'll take second.
I got fifth. Very unfortunate death on first lap, and this map is just too short to come back from that.
Yeah, and he's still 5 seconds ahead of us. Jeez.
Yeah, this is Dylan's map for sure.
I feel like there's a lot of maps that are Dylan's map.
At the moment, it does seem so. Yes.
It's really weird with Dylan because I feel like even though he's the record with like, or he's the guy with like the most records right now, I'm pretty sure, I still feel like he's underrated by quite a lot of people in the community. Like, I feel like when I see people talking about Dylan's records, they're like, oh, it's just because people aren't playing, it's just because this, that, and it's like, this guy has all these world records. It's not his fault other people aren't, like, playing.
No.
And the times that he sets are definitely very impressive.
I mean,
like, the one that comes to my mind is his Olympus 225. That's a ridiculous time to have.
I mean, the amount, first of all, the amount that he plays is completely crazy. Like, he plays so many hours. Yeah. And then the second time, the second thing is that because I am playing with him very regularly in private lobbies on Speedrun. And the level of consistency he has when he goes for stuff is crazy. And you can tell that also by, like, I mean, you can every time you encounter him in ranked or when he plays in Rocket Racing Sundays, he usually smokes everybody because he's just so consistent with everything. A lot of other speedrunners are they are totally capable of getting all of these times, but they don't have the consistency to pull it off like in ranked.
What? Just died before the race started.
Oh yeah, I have a I have a great clip that I have to show you later.
I've never seen that before. That's a new one. Okay. Oh gosh. I have no idea what this track is, by the way.
This is the track that I'm stuck on. This is Lavish Lagoon.
Okay.
This is the thing that is tormenting me currently.
Yeah, all the new tracks, not just from this update, but also the ones from the summer update. So it's like 10 tracks total. I just don't know like at all.
Yeah, with the ones from the summer update, I can definitely also relate. I have not practiced them because I was too busy with uni. So probably the worst one would be Borealis and then Mine Mayhem for me.
Oh gosh, Mine Mayhem is brutal.
Yep. Well, apparently my hours and hours of practice are gonna hopefully maybe get me the win here.
You're in first right now. Okay. I have no idea where you and Yarne are, so I'd be okay with third, I guess.
Wait, I keep missing those pads though. I've not seen Yarne in a while. But I would suspect he's not that far behind me with the way I'm messing up and not hitting pads.
Ooh. There's a big hop.
Dude, I've not done the whole drift on the what would you call that? The wooden bridge. I've not done that clean a single time.
It's so hard because it's so thin.
Yeah. And then you watch X-Man stream and he just gets it every time.
Oh, that's another guy.
That's another
like,
guy, yeah.
Speedrun too much, but I think that User is definitely one of the best players in this game by quite a bit. He actually recently posted a Festive 2 record that oh wow, it was a really good run. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those people who, if they really wanted to, they could just claim a lot of records within like a week. They could probably have like 20% of all the world records, at least on 3-lap.
User's more focused on ranked and being there.
Yeah, I wonder who's gonna get it in the end, whether it's Spans or X-Man. I think Spans would have to put in a lot of hours to build up a lead, because if it comes to it and it's the last day of the season and both of them play, then, I mean, as good as Spans is, and he's certainly better than I am, User is just on another level, and if they like keep running into each other, then Spans is not gonna have a chance defending that.
Yeah, User's like you said, on another level.
Yeah, he's probably top 3 in the game, like skill wise.
When season 1 was a thing, it was basically between me and him as to who would be the first player to reach Unreal. And I was like a little bit ahead going into like some of the final races, but I had some unfortunate things happen. In one race was Jackrabbit, one was Delirium, where I lost a bunch of percent right before the end, and both him and a player named LXY passed me.
Oh yeah,
right
that
before
player.
the very end.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate.
Even back then, like when me and User would be paired up against each other, more often than not, he would usually beat me. We also have Dylan Oxley.
Yeah, we have Dylan Yarne again. This is gonna be probably like 4th place for me. This is another record by him also.
I played this map with Buns the other day, and I just got last place on it because I just don't know this map at all.
Luckily, I have my top 10 time on this one already done, so I don't have to do it anymore.
Like there's the tube there, and I always forget to go in this tube.
But I feel like for a player as good as you, it would not take such a long time to like get used to all of these maps.
Yeah, it's just, you know, more of a matter of actually going in and putting the practice for these maps.
Right.
And there's quite a lot of maps that I'd have to practice.
Whoop, Yarna just flew past me. Oh, Dylan died. Very rare. Very rare Dylan's death. And he's right back up here.
I'm in fourth now. I see you right there.
Okay. Okay, Yarna turbos here. So I am definitely up in turbos on him.
Oh, hi. There you
hi.
are.
How did you get here?
I have no idea.
Okay, he doesn't turbo there though. Whoop. That was unfortunate. Wait, no, it didn't cancel my drift. Okay, this is the focus part of the podcast.
Right.
This is not super nice to listen to, maybe.
No, this is the best part.
Okay, I'm gonna get the second.
Oh!
Did you?
I actually almost got to you.
Did you get third? Let's go!
I was very close to you, I'm pretty sure. 34,572. What did you get?
32.9.
Oh, never mind. I thought it was a lot closer. Wait. Oh, it was Yarne then. I barely passed
Yeah.
at the end. Okay.
Okay, I'm at 90%
Okay.
now.
Okay. Wow, you're really close then.
Yup. We can do. How about we do another one and then we go over to the mechanics section of the podcast.
All right. We'll do one last race here. I'm at Champ 22 right now.
All right.
Are we on? I'm guessing we're on EU, by the way. Right?
Yeah. Do you want me to switch to NA for the last one?
No, this is fine.
Okay. If you experience any unpleasantness, just let me know. No, well, now it doesn't matter anymore because it's gonna be the last one.
Yeah, I haven't really been experiencing much lag at all. So
Okay.
it's not really that big a deal.
All right. We do have Dylanus and Yarne again. What?
Yeah, I completely messed up my start boost. We were talking about speedrun, so I was just holding the trigger down.
Oh no!
We got the 0% start boost.
Whoop. I don't know if I've ever had a clean race on this map. Just hitting everything.
Yeah, this is one of my tracks that I am not one of the best in. There's a lot of hazards and whatnot. Generally, if a track's got a lot of hazards, I probably don't like it. It's usually like a good rule of thumb for me.
Which is very understandable.
Oh, I love my novice tracks.
Like in the conversation I had with Sproku, hazards are kind of like an excuse for bad map design.
I'd say it's more so like depends on like how they're used. Like I feel like if there's like a hazard Like, honestly, for this track here, I don't really feel like the hazards are that invasive, like, compared to, like, a Festive 2. Like, Festive 2, I think, is, like, the best example of how not to do hazards, just because they're, like, everywhere, and I'm not really a fan of that map at all.
Nobody is.
Yeah.
And they haven't changed the
That's
map at
true.
all, except for, like, closing the tunnel, so...
And just infesting the whole thing with hazards, yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty.
I'm gonna get 5th. I'll take it.
Then I guess I'm going to stop at 91%. Good place to stop.
Alright. What I'm going to be talking about for tech is basically giving yourself an extra extension by timing a setup drift boost that will give you initial speed, and then turboing right before your second drift boost, which will give you a lot of extra speed by releasing the drift while in turbo.
So you want to do one long drift? You want to, before you release that drift, turbo, and then release the drift, and then initiate the other drift to fly over.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I'll play it out right here, where it starts with this drift right here, which we get to 788 from. Then, right before we release the second drift, we're going to turbo before releasing the drift.
Can you replay that and slow the video down to like 0.25?
Yeah, I can slow down the video here. 0.25. Oh. Okay, so going back here. So the first one right here, we release this first drift. We puts this at 788. Then we turbo, then release here. And because we set up that first drift, when we release that second drift, it will briefly give us a lot of extra speed. Normally it doesn't change too much gameplay, but if we do it while we're doing a turbo, it will immediately set our speed to 1,000 plus. Usually 1120 is the range if you're releasing your second drift, and it's normally like a 790 drift. And because we have the speed here, now we have basically max speed and like our 900 speed that you'd get from doing like a turbo and an extension without like a drift, but we also have that extra drift on with it, which is about an extra 220 speed. And then because we have all of this, and we have our extension ready, we're going to flip as we do our extension, and that will give us the most speed here. And we go very fast through this part of the track.
Oh yeah, I can
and well, we're in 0.2 speed, so let's go back here and watch this in real time. So 788 here. Then we turbo, release drift, and then flip an extension at the same time. And what previously people have done is they release the second drift and then they do the turbo.
So here you do the same exact thing again.
Yep, same thing.
And this is something that you're always gonna want to be doing? When it's possible?
To varying degrees. Sometimes you want to hold your drift a little longer, but still like release it before doing the extension. I'm pretty sure that's what the day drifting speedrun does now is they'll like activate the turbo and then they'll like wait a while to like do the drift, and then but they'll like all do it like right before like the extension.
Right. So there's definitely a lot of things that I've heard about the timing of when to release the drift and when to activate the turbo and when to activate the turbo extension, when to flip and so on. So the thing that I've heard so far was basically that you always want to drift, like initiate a drift, turbo, then release the drift, and then use your turbo extension while you flip. This is what I've heard is the optimal thing to do. Now you're saying I should even like start turboing earlier, like with the drift, like before the drift release of the previous drift.
Yeah. So you should be releasing, or you should be doing the turbo like before you let go of the drift instead of after.
Okay. And like, what would happen if you don't do that? If you release and then turbo, like release, initiate drift, and then turbo extension and flip.
If you were to release the drift before doing the turbo, you're pretty much not getting that brief extra speed where you have like the two drifts overlap each other. Actually, I think I can explain it here because there's this one section right here where we have the 700 speed, and then we briefly release this one here, and you can see this one's at 826 because I released this drift while it's overlapping with the previous one.
Yeah.
And then it'll go back down to 750.
Right.
So if we were to do releasing the drift and then doing the turbo, you don't get that brief extra speed boost while turboing that will max out your speed during turbo.
So it's all about maximizing that short time of overlap that you have from the previous drifts.
Right.
Gotcha.
So again, right here, we turbo and then release the drift. And then we're at 1228, and then it's like maxed out 1228, and then we can just extension as late as possible, just because well, that doesn't really make too much sense on lap 3, but on lap 2 and lap 1, when we're trying to b-hop this section of the track, by doing it as late as possible, we keep as much speed as we can for the b-hop section right here.
Okay.
Because the more speed we have when we start doing b-hops, the more speed we carry.
So this brings me to another question which I have, which is exactly this this thing of it again has to do with the timing of releasing and the timing of like when do you do your extension, because I knew this thing that I mentioned earlier, that you want to release a drift and then do your turbo extension and the flip to maximize the speed that you have, and that's also something, for example, because like some time ago I've had some help from Energy Wizard on Seaside Farms when I was trying to get my top 10 time on that, and he also told me that, and he said it's very important to wait for a long time to do your turbo extension.
To do the extension.
Exactly. Which kind of, I've had the feeling that it felt quicker every time I did it, because that's what I used to do anyways, and then people said it doesn't matter, and then I stopped doing it, and then it mattered again, and now I'm very, very confused by the Seafoam Cove world records, because I don't know if you've seen that, but it does everything wrong. Everything is the complete opposite of what I thought I knew, because you initiate the drift, you activate the turbo again as soon as possible, and then you release the drift and go for the double flip or b-hop or whatever have you.
So there is a few cases where you actually do want to turbo as fast as possible. One track that comes to my mind is Cliff Runner, so we're gonna go there really quickly. another Dylan Oss world record.
Oh yeah, this is another great example of that.
So right here, he does it as fast as possible.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is because he's not looking to take momentum at all anywhere. And this is like the traditional boost spot here. And you have to like turbo after releasing the drift. So for him, it makes more sense to get the extension off as fast as possible, because there's not really anything to be like taking advantage of with momentum. You just want to have that high speed as fast as possible.
But it used to be the case that people would jump off a lot earlier to make use of the momentum and fly for longer. And now that's not even the case anymore. Like, he lands super early.
Yeah,
I guess that's probably just because you're able to get around the corner a lot quicker if you get drift more early and get the drift speed. But
it's a track specific thing. I mean, as you can see right here as well, for this turbo, he does wait as long as possible.
Right. So it's definitely something that is a bit confusing, but as you said, it's track specific, so it's just maybe sometimes hard to know when to do it and when not to do it.
Yeah.
I feel like.
So another thing too that he's doing is he's also popping this drift right as the turbo extension is about to like start like decreasing his speed. So he gets to 1200 briefly, and then he does the flip for that brief little momentum.
Right.
I think another track that this is done on is one of the new tracks. It's not Sea. It might be Seafoam. I think it actually is Seafoam, where they do that with the first boost because it's all grounded at the start.
Right.
But yeah, turbo extensions, getting that speed to 1,000 or 1,100 plus is very crucial for just trying to hold and get like that big speed to be taking advantage of with momentum and B hops and all that. And I think that this is only something that is going to continue to progress in a direction of more people are going to be taking advantage of these things in future records, and these times are just going to continue dropping quite a lot. I think that sub 150 is possible on Windy Way.
You think?
I think sub 150 is possible.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah. Do you think with some kind of top path again?
Yeah, probably. Instead of like doing like the old route here, you can definitely like go and cut off by going through here. But yeah, it's not gonna be like an easy thing, and
no,
you're gonna have to like hit perfect B hops and mag flips and all of that jazz, and not have to get turbo bug, and it's a lot to do. But I think it's possible.
Requires some RNG. So is this something with the turbos that's something that you found out, or did you get this from somebody else?
So the first person that I saw doing this was Russigan on Day Drifting. So I'm gonna go to his run here. So Russigan was the first person I saw doing this. He does it on the first boost here.
And you saw that and you were like, what's going on, or how did you get your attention on that?
I noticed, because like the old strat was well, what caught my eye was that he was purposely hitting the wall. And that was more for an alignment thing, but I also thought that it was weird that he was turboing before releasing the drift. But I also saw that he was like at consistent like 1120, like right here 1123. Right here, you know, it's like, wow, he's going really fast in this part, and nobody else is hitting that speed at all.
Right.
And then same thing right here, he's gonna release the well, what he does right there is he releases the turbo and does the extension at the same time. And he briefly hits 1300 right here. 1331.
Wow. Okay.
He tops out at 1341. At least on this 60 FPS video.
Yeah.
It's possible that he could have been higher because we're not at 60 FPS in the game, but yeah, getting that big speed is very important. We could also look at.
He does it again. He goes very
right
wide
here.
there.
Yeah. It's well for this shortcut, it's actually okay to go wide. Just because it's like such a weird alignment. But like it's actually a lot tighter than you think by swinging out wide like that.
Okay.
I'm actually gonna go to Dylanos's 116 here because oh no, not like that. Dylanos does a slightly different boost strat for the last turn. Where he's going to turbo right before doing the drift again. So right here, well, he does it at the same time. And you can see like he gets to like 1,000, but you can definitely get higher than that. If you were to like do the turbo right before releasing the drift. But he does do turbo before on this one, so he gets to 1,100 there. But he does it at the same time here, and you can see he's at like 1050. Like he could be going like over 1,100 throughout that entire corner, but he's not.
Right.
Because that's the difference between doing it at the same time and doing it beforehand, like right here, 1120 right there.
Yeah. Interesting. I feel like this kind of thing really just shows how deep you can go into this game, because you feel like you are copying someone's run, and then there are some of these small details which you don't know this, and you don't understand it because of that, and you wonder why you're not getting these times, even though you feel like you're executing, but you're still like a couple seconds off, you know, and it's these details.
There's definitely quite a lot of nuance to like very small like alignments and like timings for boosts and whatnot that make a big difference, which also extends to why I don't think this game should be in Fortnite. I don't know, man, like when I think of Fortnite, I think of like BR, I think of you know, you don't have to be the best player. Like obviously there is a competitive scene for like the BR there, and you know that's cool and all, but like you don't have to be like the best player to like enjoy Fortnite. But I feel like with rocket racing, like if you don't understand what you're doing, then this game's just not that fun.
Yeah, because there's no good casual mode.
Yeah, no, casually this game suffers quite a bit. I feel like.
And maybe if it was its own game, its standalone game, or maybe if it was integrated in as like an equal part inside of Rocket League, which obviously now is not possible because they obviously made this with Unreal Engine 5. But if this was in like either standalone or in Rocket League, this would be more of a serious game, I feel like, as opposed to just like a mode.
Because like when I talk to people like who have never played this game before, they're like, "Oh yeah, that's Fortnite racing." It's like,
ah, shit, and you know you've already lost. Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay, whatever.
Yeah, I feel you.
All right, so now that you understand what's going on here, Well, let's put some of that into practice.
Okay, so I want to see your drifting pattern before the section.
Okay, here. I will, well, if I can do the speedrun start, hold on. So here, we just do that little drift there.
You don't go for the mag?
I don't. I think it's faster too, but I just don't. I don't really care enough to.
Okay.
Okay,
so you also chain drift instead of flipping. Okay. All right, let me try this.
Alrighty.
Oops.
I did the same thing.
Okay. Messed up the mag flip, which is fine.
Oh, you got the mag off of there.
Very wide, but that's the idea, right? The general idea of what I did.
Yeah, you did the extension a little early. Ideally you want to do like the extension as late as possible.
Oops.
You missed it there, but you had the right idea there. Gosh,
you release on here, right?
Yeah, I do release there.
Okay, let's see. Like that?
Yeah, you're still doing the extension pretty early though.
Oh yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I was so focused on the part before.
Yeah, you're like doing the extension as you release the drift. That was good.
Oops. Yeah, and B-hops are questionable.
B-hops are just B-hops. They're tricky. Especially doing it in the Beamer. I feel like the Beamer is just such a weird car. Like, I don't know how I feel about using a sedan on this game. Especially one as long as this one.
Yeah, it definitely does not feel very good for doing serious stuff. When
No.
I go for speedruns, I also do use the Octane.
There you go, that's good.
There I go. Okay, that was a lot quicker.
You're up 0.6 now.
That's crazy. Okay. Interesting. I never knew that this would give me like such an edge. Ah, okay. Yeah, I need the Octane for better B-hops.
That looks like 41 there.
Did I? Well, it wasn't my PB.
I should probably go for that mag flip.
Which one? There's so many.
The one at the very start that I haven't been going for.
I messed up my drift pattern, so this is all.
Yeah, so
lost.
You see how you didn't have that first drift there? Even though you did the turbo thing, you weren't even like close to the 1100 because you didn't have that initial thing set up.
So yeah, I'm just gonna ask you the last question then that I ask every guest, which is if you could add one thing to the game and remove one thing from the game, which would those be?
If I could add one thing to the game, I think some sort of item mode would be really cool. I don't know about having it replace like the main form of competition, but I do think that there's quite a lack of casual appeal to rocket racing. Having some sort of like item game mode that I know Rocket Racing, or not Rocket Racing, Rocket League had something similar where I really enjoyed playing that with some of my buddies from high school. And you know, none of us were like really that good at Rocket League, so we played that one all the time back in the day.
Yeah, the Rumble mode.
Yeah, that's the one, Rumble. So if something like that were to come to Rocket Racing, I think that would be really cool, and it would get people like interested in playing the game. Hey, you got a 41 too.
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt you.
Yeah, no, good job, good job.
To the game.
As far as anything that I'd remove from the game though, I'd remove it from Fortnite and put it on its own game. So that's what I'd do.
I guess we can let that count. For sure. I definitely also agree with you with it. I think they made a very bad strategic mistake by putting it into Fortnite. Because the biggest audience would have always been the Rocket League community.
Yeah, and it would have been Rocket League, it would have been like people interested in racing games, it wouldn't have been Fortnite players. Because that's another thing too, is like if you wanted to like try to find this game on Twitch, it's so hard because you have to stream it under the Fortnite category and you have to compete against like Fortnite. And all of that is really hard to do when you're basically the sub game within a game.
Yeah.
And you know, shout out to Spuns, he's pretty much the Rocket Racing streamer right now.
He's holding up the flag.
You know, it's hard to grow when you have to stream under the Fortnite category, competing against Fortnite streamers, and this game isn't Fortnite. And maybe if there was like a Fortnite category on Twitch, or a Rocket Racing category on Twitch, then like maybe that could change. But it's really hard for this game to get any publicity at all when it's constantly having to compare itself with Fortnite. Not only in that regard, but with the player count as well. Like, people look at the player count for Rocket Racing and they're like, oh, this game's dead because it's only got a few thousand people compared to Fortnite, which has like hundreds of thousands. But it's like, it's not really fair to compare Rocket Racing to Fortnite in that regard, because it's like they're two completely different games with different audiences.
Do you reckon if they now retroactively made it its own game, it would be better for it? Or do you think the damage is done and now they should just keep it the way it is?
I think that every day they wait to try to make that change, it will just be worse and worse. I don't think it's too late to change, but there's definitely a stigma with Fortnite racing that
it's just a small game mode inside Fortnite.
I think that it should try to distance itself from.
Yeah.
That being said, I don't know how realistic that is, because as I mentioned earlier, Fortnite benefits more from having Rocket Racing than Rocket Racing benefits by being in Fortnite.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, that's my thoughts on the game.
Okay, well, thank you for being my guest. This has definitely been one of the more informative episodes so far. I think a lot of people are really going to appreciate you sharing your tips.
Of course.
For speedrunning.
Thank you for having me on. It's definitely the first time I've been like on some sort of podcast. I think there was a few times where I just lost my train of thought because it's like trying to play at the same time.
Oh yeah.
It's difficult like trying to like talk like this and play at the same time. But I enjoyed it quite a lot, and I hope that maybe in the future we could do something like this again.
All right, yeah, I hope so too. I mean, the latest this is gonna happen is the next season, so.
Yeah.